Happy New Year and welcome to the first podcast of 2024. I am Biz from Busy Crochet, and this is my beautiful co host.
Debbie of MadameStitch.
Today's topic, we're going to be discussing mindful crochet and what that means to each of us. Plus, we're going to be providing you with some great resources in case you want to dive deeper. But first, let's get caught up on all of the uh, technical stuff. The If you are following us on YouTube, please make sure that you like and subscribe Busy Crochet and Madam Stitch Crochet. Make sure you follow us both because we both have videos and tutorials. And then also, if you are following us on Facebook today, please give us permission on StreamYard to see you so that we know who we're talking to today. And hang on just a second to get back over here. So let's get caught up. What are you up to? How have you been? It's been since December 15th since we've been
Oh
on
my
here.
gosh, it's been a hot minute, right? Oh my
Yes.
gosh, so we had the holidays in between. You and I haven't had a chance to catch up. And I won't
No.
bore you with all the details, but I actually took the Friday before Christmas all the way to the day after New Year's to I just didn't get on my computer. I mean, it was open, but I didn't work. And my daughter was home the whole time. We played board games almost every day. We put
Oh my
together a
gosh, how
puzzle.
fun.
We took the weather was really nice, so we took the dogs for lots of walks, and it was just such a fabulous break. And then this week, I am back to work, getting ready to get a pattern tested and getting all the designs made. And I've got my new shelving unit up here, which is
It's so pretty.
awesome. It's
It's
so
so
it just
pretty.
brightens the room, just brightens the room.
It does.
And my grandson, my younger grandson, is helping me to organize the yarn. He is a genius, genius. So this is going to take a couple of weeks because I only see him a couple times a week, but we'll get it organized. But I'm excited to be back. And
Color theory
Biz,
is
what's
definitely
up with
his strength.
you? Oh yeah, he's got it. He's absolutely in the groove. So what's been up with you?
Well, as soon as we got done with our last podcast, a couple days later, I got my hairs cut. I haven't had my hair cut professionally in 5 years. And so it was just time. And it's just a long bob. So this is like the longest it is in the front. And I see you also got your ears lowered.
I really bobbed.
That's
I
kind of the
totally
direction I
bobbed.
was going to go, but I feel like my face is a little bit round. So I try to hide it behind the hair, right? Um, but yeah, so I got a haircut, and then Tony and actually of our family members were off completely from Friday before Christmas to New Year's. And so my son was off, so we got to see him more often, and my husband was off the whole time, so he was here with me the whole week. We just did a lot of food. I'm just going to fess up, I gained 12 pounds from Thanksgiving to New Year's. So I made myself I made myself get on the scale so that I was like, okay,
Oh,
you cannot run from this forever. You have to find out what you did. And it wasn't honestly as bad as I thought it was going to be, because I thought it was going to be way worse. And it wasn't. And I can do this. I can take another 12 pounds off. My daughter gave me this lovely, enormous drinking cup, which, I never thought that it would cause me to increase how much water I drink. Because before I was trying to get in, like try to get in 4 bottles or whatever, and I'd always forget, and I maybe got two. But this thing, because it's got a straw on it, it's so easy to just suck it down. I am getting
mhm.
in like 5 or 6 bottles of water a day, which also keeps me running to the bathroom nonstop. Like I have no time to do anything else. It's me, my bottle of water, and the bathroom. So,
That sounds exciting.
but it is quite fun. Actually, and this is I know I'm telling you way too much, but yesterday, so we've got a bathroom in our bedroom, and it's a nice, cozy, warm room because the rest of our house is a little bit chilly because we're in Florida, and it's cold right now, and it's wind is blowing. And so I tucked myself into my warm, cozy bedroom yesterday and I brought my work with me. So I was back there crocheting because I had to go to the bathroom so many times. I was like, I can't run from one end of the house to the other this many times a day. And it was a good thing I did too. But I know TMI, but I did have my trusty crochet with me and I got a lot of work done.
Yeah, I am
So,
digging all of the crochet time. I took a lot of time to crochet. That's my jam.
yeah.
Um, yeah, Dawn says it's snowing here. We're getting ready to get the storm that Biz has. It's coming up the coast.
Yeah. It's
And
cold.
so we're, yep, we're doing, it's already cold here, but
Mhm.
we're doing all the things to get ready for the snow because we haven't had snow for 2 years,
Holy
which is
cow.
weird. Yeah,
That
it's
is
really
weird.
weird. But we're about it's not gonna be a big deal when it gets here, but,
Mhm.
anyway, we're getting
Well, the
ready.
husky is loving the weather here. Like, she is just digging this. This is what she was bred
Excellent.
for, so ooh, Dawn says she made 8 hats. That's awesome. That is awesome. I'm
So
working on
jealous.
squares, but hats are awesome. And you know what? I think that if when I was in Wisconsin, I used to make a lot more hats, and I think that if I was still up there, I probably would be too, but down here, they don't use them
Right.
quite as much, but I loved making hats. Alrighty, let us begin. Let's talk about
Oh
what we're gonna talk
my.
about.
So
All right.
excited about today's topic.
Yes, it is mindful crochet and what that
Mhm.
means to both you and I, as well as like I said, we're going to be providing you with some really great resources on mindful crochet. And since it's, the beginning of the year and we are all coming off of, a hot and heavy holiday season and a lot of people are just looking to wind down. I know for myself, I'm still kind of in that holiday limbo phase
Mhm.
where it's like you have this fog in your brain and you can't quite get out of it. And I feel like I'm having to drink more coffee than normal.
Well, I start every day with coffee. Yeah, I actually love January. I know a lot of people don't like January because it's, generally the weather is not so great. It's the downside of the holidays when everybody's
Mhm.
been up and celebrating and all of that. But
Mm.
I
It's
love
been go, go, go.
January, um, because it's a chance when the flip of the calendar happens to kind of reset and
Mhm.
think about all the it's like 2024 is this blank slate, and I
Yeah.
get to write the script for the entire year. And
Yes.
so for me, I absolutely love it because I get a chance to just kind of spend time with my crochet, spend time in my house, and regroup and get a good plan going. I just love it.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like I have a little more time to think. And I know that a lot of
Mhm.
people start out the year, and the big joke is that, January takes about 5 months to get through. That's what it always feels like it's January 31st forever. But I just feel like it's kind of a contemplative month. It's one of those months where,
Mhm.
like, instead of looking at it as, oh God, this thing's never going to end, when are we going to
Mhm.
get to the next one? Let's just take a beat and
Right.
embrace that pause. This is that pause before the rest of the year really gets crazy.
Yeah, in the MadameStitch world, I always dub January as the crochet for me month because we spent all of December making all the things for everybody else, and now it's
Yes.
time to just do for us, and kind of a self-care month
Yeah.
when I get to do things for me, and I love to use crochet to do that.
Mhm. It is. Well, it's my favorite pastime, you know. And
Mhm.
although I have discovered puzzles on my phone, like literal, piece puzzles, that's my second favorite pastime lately. But um I love to just like I have to have my hands moving all the time. It's just
Mhm.
my thing. But I love that I can still be creating, but it doesn't have to necessarily there's no timeline and there's no deadline on it. And
Mhm.
that's where, not to jump ahead or anything like that, but that's part of where I find crochet mindful, especially at this time.
Yeah, we'll talk about our crochet styles, our mindful
Mhm,
crochet styles in a second.
mhm.
I know a lot of designers, they try to hit January 1st running. And I
Mhm.
always look at it as, I'm not really sure that the entire world wants to be bombarded right now. I think we all want to just kind of let's just absorb and see what's coming at us instead of
Yeah.
just being boom, boom, boom. So
Yes.
I tend not to do a lot of um, businessy things in Madam
Mhm.
Stitch in January because that's kind of where I am. When
Mhm.
February hits, man, let's go. But January, I tend to be less salesy, less
Yeah.
concerned about all of that stuff. And I just, want to show all the crochet and all of the cool things that are happening
Well, I
and
know
get
that
everybody involved.
from the holidays, I end up with, fatigue, like brain fatigue
Mhm.
from seeing all the
Yep.
sales and all the this and
Yeah, yeah.
all of that, and, just the it's just so much in your
And,
face, and
and if
I
we're
found myself
tired,
yeah, and I find myself wanting to just not be on Facebook, not be on Instagram. I
yep,
don't wanna see any of it. So
yep,
I am in with you on that where I try, and pull back a little bit. The only thing I am involved in is like a washcloth hop, but all that stuff's programmed so I'm not on Facebook, you know? I
yeah.
really am trying to minimize that right now. But, all right. So I just want to throw out a quick hello to Carolina. Thank you so much for joining us. And Dawn, thank you for commenting. And let's go ahead and talk about um, what is your mindful crochet style?
Oh my goodness. Well, we've talked about this in previous podcast episodes. You and I are on almost opposite ends of the spectrum as
Yeah.
far as mindful crochet is concerned. Um, Crochet for me, my entire life has been about centering me, giving me a stress-free zone. Um, my designs reflect this. I tend to pick things that have repetitive
Mhm.
patterns, things that I don't have to look at the pattern.
Mhm.
Um, basic stitches rather I don't even do much in the way of bobble popcorn, that genre, or
Mhm.
even front and back post stitches because that almost takes too much thought for me. So
Yeah.
I know I now I'm going to insert this caveat though. 2024 and the end of 2023, I've started incorporating more and more of that in my designs to make
She has
them
gotten so
pop a
textury,
little bit,
y'all.
getting textured. Um, but if I choose something for myself to sit down and crochet, it is basic stuff. And that's why granny square, granny stitch, that's my jam. That's if
Mm.
I will give you an example. Um, the dentist sends me into conniptions. I mean, I dread it like I dread having my entire arm taken off.
Mhm.
And I remember being in the dentist office needing to get crown prep,
Mhm.
where there's grinding involved. And
Yes.
so I was practically shaking in the waiting room, but I took my crochet and that granny square that I was working on just got me to calm down enough that
Mm.
I wasn't a weird mess when I went. I'm a grown woman. Get over yourself. Get to the
I can
den. You're
do this.
fine. Get over it. But that granny square just brought the level of anxiety down. And I always have a granny square project going on
Mhm.
because that's the one I pull out when I need to calm down or it's been a bad day or I just need to relax. That's my
Yeah.
jam.
Yeah,
What about you?
it's almost like it's there to kind of absorb that energy, which is,
Mhm. Oh, yeah, yeah. Yep.
um, but for myself, uh, I'm actually gonna bring up Neve's comment that she left here because I'm exactly the same. It depends on my mood at the time. Sometimes I love things that I really have to concentrate on, lots of different stitches and counts, etc. Other times I need something rhythmic and repetitive. I'm exactly like that.
Mhm.
For the most part, if we're talking about I just need to sit down and do something because I'm maybe in between two really big mind projects. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like when you're in the
Mhm.
middle of designing stuff and you've got big hairy project over here and big hairy project over here, and you just don't want to
Yep.
have to think about anything.
Yep.
I have a tendency to sit down and do it needs to be like a single stitch or maybe two stitches or 2-row repeat, 4-row repeat, something like that. Something that I can, and it has to be small. I have to be able to bang that sucker out, finish a project, fold it up, be done with it, and be able to put it in a drawer and walk away. So my mindful things are quick projects that don't require a lot of thought.
Mhm. Yeah, I think that brings up an important point that we've really never thought about, and talked about. When it comes to mindful crochet, you see a lot of articles and such that talk about the style that you should have, and a lot of them talk about that style being a lot like mine. But I think the more important issue is you've got to know what your style is. I think a lot of crocheters haven't
Yeah,
really thought about what mindful crochet means to them and what it looks
yeah,
like and what kind of a project that really looks like, because in order for
mhm.
mindful crochet to work, it has to be a project that feeds your soul, whatever that
Yes,
means to you, right?
yes.
So
Yeah,
yes, repetitive, sort of mindless rhythmic crochet is great for
mhm,
mindful crochet,
mhm,
but your style is different from mine and you know what you
mhm,
need in the moment.
mhm.
And that I think is more important than let's just all calm down and get in the yoga position and have a Zen moment,
'Cause I won't get
right?
back out of the yoga position. I mean, it's just how I am. I mean, like, I might make it down, but I ain't
on
making
the
it back up.
floor,
So,
on the floor permanently. We are done.
yes. But yeah,
Oh, that's hilarious.
'cause I always am in awe of the fact that you're like, "Oh, it's just so calming," and the fact that you can do the same stitch, because you do have, like, a theme through your designs is just very, like, calm,
Mhm.
and you use simple stitches and things like that, and I'm like, I wish that I could just be that calm, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like my chaotic personality comes out in my designs, and your super calm personality comes out in your designs. It's just, we're 2 totally
And
different
it's
birds.
again, we get along so well, but our
Mhm.
personalities, how we handle life is different. I think a lot of that calmness comes from all the life I've lived. There've just been so many things in life that have taught me how to be
Mhm.
okay. It's all going to work out. But anyway, I think that's important for us to remember that we have to know ourselves
Yeah, for
to
sure.
understand what mindful crochet the all of the things that you read are a great place to start, but experiment until you find that perfect style so that you know when you've just had that day, or
Mhm.
when you're
Mm.
anxious about something or you need to just come down,
For sure.
that's the project you can pick up. And i
Yes.
i also want to recommend, like I know you do, Biz, and I do as
Mhm.
well, have that project always on hand.
Yeah.
Have it always ready to go. Know where it is so you can pick
Mhm.
it up and help yourself.
And that's something that you're going to develop as you go. And I know a lot of crocheters just they kind of just do this because I think as people, we tend to um, put things or create spaces that work for us naturally. So, like for myself, you said always keep that project on hand. Well, because, okay, sorry, hang on just a second. I have to
Can
delete a
you get that
comment.
one out?
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's good.
You. So, So I have set myself up with, like I said, all of my projects, like if they're small and mindful, they're done. So I actually have this little dollar store basket that I keep all of my cotton yarn in, and I just kind of keep it next to me. So when I'm ready to start, and I have a tendency to make the Moogly baby bib. It's I don't even know how to explain what it is. It's this really simple bib pattern that I'm gonna see if I can find one. It works up super, super fast, and it's a oh, forget it. I'd have to make too much noise and move around too much. But it's in cotton. So I always keep that cotton next to me, and I always have my button thing right next to me. And I always so when I'm in that in between time, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna make one of those real quick. Don't ask me who I'm making these for. I have got a stockpile that's crazy. But it's just one of my favorite patterns because it's just a
Yep.
non-thinker. And
Yeah.
so, each of us, like we get those, a lot of people get those little trolley carts from like Michael's or something, and they have the three different levels and they kind of drive them around the house and take them with them everywhere they go. You can
Yeah.
keep your projects close to you that way. And another thing I'm going to recommend is have more than one thing.
Mhm.
I kind of have my usual go-tos, but like I have, we all have whips that are we've got 19 or 20 of
Yep.
them laying around. But that's how I flip-flop back and forth in and out of my chaos and
Yep.
my mellow. Is I have my
Yeah.
mellow over here and I've got my chaos over here. So if I'm feeling chaos, I pick up chaos. If I'm feeling mellow, I pick up mellow. You know what I mean? So like I always have
Yep.
more than one style of project going at a time.
Yep. Yeah, works in progress, I believe, get a bad rap because we always go, "Oh, yeah, we've got 50,000 of them and we're moving on to the next project." But I'm exactly like you.
Mhm.
I if I have only one project going at a time, I go into panic mode because
Yes.
if it
I'm
doesn't fit
stuck.
my mood if it doesn't fit my mood, we are screwed, baby.
Yeah. Mhm.
So, I have to have a crochet project that fits my mood. So I'm working on a design for an oversized sweater, which takes, since I've never designed garments before, it takes so much brain power. So I work
Oh
on that
my
a little
god, I'm
bit.
so excited.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, um, I also have I'm trying to design a granny square cardigan. So I'm
Mm,
trying to get all the little that's my granny square project right now.
okay.
Um, and I bought some beautiful superwash merino from an independent dyer over the Christmas holidays that I'm making a simple cowl out of. It's gorgeous colors, gorgeous yarn. And that one, I'm just sitting in my chair right now going, oh my gosh, this is so wonderful. And so I
Yes.
have all this array of, I might get a blanket going.
That's
So I'm with you.
awesome. Yes. Well, you and I are currently, and can I bring up the fact that we're working on a
Mm.
secret collaboration?
Oh, oh, please do.
It's no longer secret. So we are working on a collaboration that we're going to actually be coming out with in the next month or two. And the thing is that we're incorporating both of our styles into this collaboration. And the fun part is there is that super mindful part of it, and then there's that super
Yep.
other part, which is me. But but
It's the calm
I've
and the
only been
chaos.
working I've only been working on that lately because, like, it's got both in it for me.
Yeah.
I don't have really anything else going on. I've got a couple of design ideas that I'm going to be working on, mostly blankets, because ooh, you know what? It's out there. I'm gonna be a grandma. Uh.
So you better
Yes.
be working on baby blankets, baby.
Well, I have got. Well, she said she's like, "Are you gonna make a design a baby blanket?" And I know that it's a really important thing for her, so I'm absolutely gonna design a
Oh,
fresh new baby
yeah.
blanket for my new grandchild. And but Neve is like, "You better start designing all the things, all the baby stuff, all the clothes." I'm not sure about that, but I know I can at least bang out a couple of blankets. So,
Oh, yeah. Gotta have
but
the baby blankets.
yes. Oh, I'm so
That's
excited. I'm so
awesome.
yes, I get to have a baby. I know that looks I
No.
just looked at myself in the mirror in the camera and I'm like, "Oh my god, you're creepy." But I'm I have wanted grandkids for so many years. I love babies so much. And I'm just so ready for this.
Oh, man, that's exciting. Yeah, I've been through that phase, and now I'm at, the teenage phase, which is, I don't know, we're getting off topic, but teenagers just I love teenagers. I love them. It was all the other parents would be going, "Oh my god, I just can't talk to my kids," and
No.
my kids and I are having a fabulous time.
I
And
love
right now I'm
teenagers.
texting my 13-year-old all the time because he's a history whiz. So I'm going,
Mhm.
"Do you know the answer to this question?" And of course he does. So,
Yeah.
there and then the shelves behind me, we talked
Mhm.
about, the younger grandkid is just all over organizing that.
Mhm.
It's great. But anyway, we we
Hey,
digress.
it's all mindful. We're
It
just
is all
including it all
mindful.
in the mindful.
Oh my gosh. We
Alrighty.
I'm trying to think if we skipped anything here because we went straight to our style. We didn't really talk
Um,
about what mindful crochet is. And
Yeah,
just
you wanna hit
kind of
that?
in a yeah, just kind of in a nutshell, it's the kind of the process of engaging with your crochet in a way that you're aware of what you're doing. So
Mhm.
a lot of us will get projects where we just don't have to pay attention. But the
Mhm.
actual practice of mindful crochet is when um, you feel the yarn as it goes through your hands.
Mm.
You maybe count the stitches as you go. Your little trick of rhythmically counting is mindful
Yeah,
crochet, even
yeah,
though it's to help you count the pattern, the stitch pattern.
right.
It's a way of feeling the movements and paying attention to what the yarn looks like. It's just kind
Mhm.
of being in the present moment with your crochet.
Mhm.
I think for me, mindful crochet ends up being that sort of mindfulness where I'm not paying close attention to it. It's just becoming one with the rhythm
Mhm.
of the hook and the yarn is one with my thought process. So I don't
Mhm.
really think about it a lot, but that's really the definition of mindful crochet. It's a chance to
Yeah.
slow down, be in the moment, take the hurry out of the day, and
Mhm.
just be. Yeah.
And finding that comfort, and because as you were talking about, you know, feeling the yarn go through your hands, I was thinking about, and I know I keep going back to this, but the project that you and I are working on, one of the squares that you made has a front post stitch in it. And as I was working on
It
it,
has
I'm
a
like,
lot of front post stitches.
it's my favorite square out of all of them. They're all cute,
Really?
but
Oh
that is
my
my
gosh.
favorite one because and this is gonna sound so weird, but this is how my brain works. I think sometimes that I was undiagnosed as something because my brain is just really off the rails sometimes. But, as I was working on that, I was like, "This is the fattest, chunkiest stitch, and I love it so much because it makes me." And okay, so I have a problem with comfort food, right? And that's why I'm on a diet. But it's like that for me in crochet, where it was like, you know how you eat pudding and it's super creamy and it's really delicious?
Yeah, yeah.
That's what that stitch is to me. It's like a really creamy, fat stitch. And I just so
That is
my
awesome.
that's where my brain goes, like, I was thinking of that, I'm like, "This is the most fun stitch to make ever."
Oh my gosh. That is so hilarious, and I love it. I love
Because
it.
I love
Yeah, I
fat,
mean,
chunky stitches.
yeah, and I love thinner yarns. Um, the words won't come to my brain, but, it's not efficiency, but it's kind of that concept of,
Uh-huh.
say the most with the least amount, that sort of
Oh,
thing.
sure. Mhm.
Yeah.
And elegant, yours is always
So
very elegant.
well, I appreciate that. I love both of our styles. It's just
Yeah.
wonderful. Um, so that really is what the general definition of mindful crochet is.
And I'm gonna actually, as we're going along, we're gonna talk about a couple of different resources in case you guys want to dive a little
Mhm.
bit deeper into the subject of mindful crochet. And maybe like you're thinking about whether or not you want to look it up for yourself as far as like, I feel like I need to know more, or I want some tips and tricks. We're gonna give you some different um and we're going to start with Sweet Potato 3 has got some free and easy patterns. I'm going to go ahead and drop that link into the chat so that if I can get to it, so that you guys can just click on it and use it that way. And comments. So that's that resource.
Mhm.
And it's helpful if you hit the right button.
There it is. Twice. Oh, no,
Jeepers. Um,
nope, that's
and
Facebook
then
and YouTube. Got it.
did I
No, no, it's on 2 different
oh, what did I
platforms.
do? Oh,
That's
okay.
perfect.
All right.
That's perfect.
You would
Technology,
think we
what
would
is
know what we're doing at
happening
this
right here?
point. And then you have got some really great resources that I'm going to drop so tell us a little bit about this one, the 5 strategies crochet as self-care.
Oh gosh, I wrote this article, last well, it's 2022, so almost 2 years ago now. Um, and it's 5 ways that you can use crochet as self-care, and I'm just gonna read the headings, but you can read it and dive a little bit deeper into it if you want to. So one of them is to set up your space, and I'm just gonna give you my office as one example. My office is was incredibly messy and not very pretty, which is why these shelves are being put in and why there's a lot of organization and decluttering and all of that stuff. But in general, my crochet space is my recliner in a comfy corner of my family room with a lamp beside it for good lighting, and a cubby underneath to hold my crochet projects with a clear view of the TV because that's when I tend to crochet. So setting up a space where it
Yes.
promotes a great crochet experience, and you can just readily pick it up. That's one. The second one is try something new that isn't hard, right? So if there's something, you pick a simple pattern, but try something
Oh,
new that will challenge you a little bit, but it won't be overwhelming. That's one. Always choose a simple pattern. Now, that's for me. For those of you who like a challenge, pick something that's challenging, but I
mhm.
I also challenge you not to make it too hard because then the mindfulness,
Yeah,
you're
I
going,
agree.
"Oh my gosh, how do I do this pattern?" Right?
Yeah.
The
Anything that
fourth one
causes you stress
is
is not mindful.
no, it's not mindful. Choose materials that make you happy, and I'm gonna oh my
Mhm.
gosh, of course, that's the yarn, and a hook that doesn't just wind your hand into conniptions. But, my I love to treat myself to superwash merino by indie dyers who use such soft DK weight bases. That's the one that I love to choose. You might have a
Mhm.
different weight. You might like fingering. You might like bulky or chunky, whatever makes
Mhm.
you happy. And
Yeah.
the colors, they can be neutral. They can be. I'm working on something right now that has these deep, rich, this kind of color in them, and reds
Mm.
and blues and golds, and it's just to look at it just makes my mouth water. It's just fabulous. And then, sorry, the fifth one is make yep,
Do you need a
mm,
moment?
mm, I'm okay. Um, and the fifth one, which I highly recommend, and I adhere to this, make time to crochet every day.
Mhm.
If that's something that makes you happy, then do it every day. I begin and end
Absolutely.
every day with crochet.
Mm. That's a great I love that. I, typically don't begin my day with crochet, uh, that's coffee, but about,
I
uh,
do that too.
but, like, 2, 3 o'clock is usually about the time when I'm done in my office or I'm done, doing whatever else I've gotta do, and that's when I sit down and turn on my murder shows and crochet away, so, All right,
Yeah.
you've got another one as well that, hang on just a second. This one is crochet as self-care, and you say you've got part 1, so is there a part 2 to it as well?
I may have gotten off track and not done part 2, but maybe it's time to do part 2. I know I've got it somewhere. In this one, I basically talk about, treating yourself, that self-care is not selfish is basically the tagline. Self-care
Mhm.
sets you up for success and gives you the ability and the energy and fills the gas tank so that you can be good
Yes.
for other people as well, right?
Yes.
So I talk
Absolutely.
about self-care. I talk about how you use crochet as self-care. And I have some
Mhm.
really cool quotes in here. Here's one from Lily Chin, who if you don't know her, you should know her.
Yeah.
She says, if more people knitted and crocheted, the world would see fewer wars and a whole lot less road rage. That's what Lily
I think
Chin
you're right.
says. Oh, yeah.
I'm not
And
sure about the
another
road
quote,
rage.
yeah, there's a whole lot of road rage around here, but they need to read that quote. And the other one I love is "Crochet gives me an inner peace that I treasure each and every day" by Judith Ferret. Now, I don't know who she is, but I pulled that one
Mhm.
off the internet. So that's basically just why you should treat yourself to self-care and how
Yes.
crochet. Yeah,
And Dawn
basically I do
expressed the same
too.
thing. I get depressed if I don't get to crochet every single day. Us too.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. All right. So I'm gonna quick throw this guy up here. Sigoni Macaroni. I don't know if you know who that is. I'm not super familiar with her, but I believe that she's the lady who kind of came on the scene because she was super depressed and began blogging about how crochet had really pulled her out of that, and how it became her mental health
Mhm,
journey was very much centered around her crocheting. And she's got practicing self care with crochet. We've got a list of the 19 things from that article. We're gonna just quick go over them. But it's a good resource for you if you want to check out for yourself what she's got a good website as well. But that's like her
mhm.
platform is about self care um, in the crochet world. All right, so I'm just going to put that into the comments. But she says, have an open mind, make the time. You know, we get so caught up in what we're doing that we sometimes don't make the time to, 'cause like you had said, make yourself have space in your day
Mm,
to crochet and touch your yarn. And this next one is do not set deadlines. Sometimes we get ourselves so caught up in, I've got to have this done by such and such a time. I have to.
yeah.
No, there's really no have to in anything unless you have a customer
Well,
that you've made a promise to.
yeah, and that's how we feel at Christmas time. That's why January is such a
Mhm.
great time to kinda check out because you had to meet the deadline of giving gifts.
Yep, for sure. Toss perfectionism out the window. That's a
Mhm.
really good one. Uh, I have I have a terrible time with getting caught up in perfectionism. I actually asked my husband the other day as I was ripping something out for the third or fourth time. I'm like, why do I do this constantly? He's like, because you're a perfectionist. And I'm like, okay, all right, you know me. But it also says have fun. Absolutely.
Yeah,
That is like the key thing. Like that's why we're here. Have fun. Make sure you take breaks too. Self-care includes taking a break.
yep.
I remember when I first started crocheting, all I wanted to do was crochet. Like, I didn't wanna do anything else, I was completely obsessed with it, and I would
Mhm.
go till my arms would just fall off, you know? But take breaks because now I'll tell you what, I'm paying for it. I'm paying for not paying attention to that. Oh, here's a really good one. Accept the frogging.
Yep.
Become okay with
That's
ripping it out.
yep, that's the tough one.
She says on here, set your mood. Like, if you for myself. I know when I'm getting ready to, go park it in the living room, I make sure I've got my bottle of water, I've got my snack, I've got my program lined up, I've got my yarn, I've got I set my mood because that's my time, you know. So make sure that you are setting your mood. If you need to do it by candlelight, if you if you need to burn incense, whatever you need to do, set your mood for your
Turn
time.
turn on the fairy lights and yeah.
Yes. There you go. And here's another good one. Ask for help.
Mhm.
It's not wrong for you to start a project and get stuck. We have to give ourselves lots of grace. I know a lot of new people, and I think maybe I'm saying this wrong, but I think that people who have been doing it longer know that you just need to give yourself grace and,
Mhm.
don't quit. It's the people who are beginning to pick up crochet and they see the people who have been doing it for so long and they're like, I want to do that. I
Yeah.
want my project to look like that.
Mhm.
It looks like that because we've been doing it for 25 years.
Right.
You're brand new to it.
Yep.
So give yourself lots and lots and lots of grace
Yep.
and ask for help.
Mhm.
Here's a good one. Break the rules.
What?
Break the
What?
rules. There is nothing saying that just because somebody has a pattern and you start working on it and you're like, I think that I want to see it look like this, you can change it and make it look like that.
Mhm.
A pattern is a guideline. It's kind of like a speed limit on a road. It's a suggestion.
Wait. Wait, what? Let's be careful about what we're advocating here.
You are absolutely right. Follow the law of the land. That's my husband's quote. That the speed limit on the sign is a suggestion. Just, but in crochet, there are no real rules, other than maybe it's better to make a single crochet this way or that way. But you know what? Everybody's changing that up too. I've seen
I
different
think,
forms
yeah.
of single crochets happening over the
Yep.
last year and a half, where now everybody's talking about, do you yarn under or do you yarn over? What?
Uh,
I
I
yarn one
I
way,
just
people.
I just I just wanna make a single crochet. That's it.
Exactly. And I understand that it makes a different look in your single crochet. But I'll tell you what, when I'm speeding along in a project, the last thing I want to have to think about is, did I under that or over that?
Well, chances are you overed it, so
Probably. Probably.
yeah.
So anyway, moving right along. Challenge yourself. We already talked about that. Crochet on the go.
Always got my crochet with me.
Always has a
Parent
crochet.
pickup. Yep.
Find a crochet community. If you don't already belong to one of ours, join them. We're awesome. But if not, find somewhere that you feel is home for you, like a group of people you can talk with. I know there's a lot of groups on Ravelry. I don't really know if they're super active on there anymore or not. But there's groups all over Facebook if you're looking for a community of people to get
Mhm.
involved with. Make simple projects. Crochet something quick. Here's a good one. Use less color changes. Don't
Mhm.
don't find the most intricate pixelated picture to make a grass
No.
scan out of. Find
Oh.
something simple, less color changes. And here's one I know that you like to do. Indulge in a new hook.
Yeah, the only thing about that is the one that fits my hand is a good old Susan Bates, and so every
Mhm.
time I buy I mean, these are some of the most popular. Every time I buy something like
Yeah,
that, I use it for a bit and go, nope,
yeah.
let's go back
I have
go back
some
to
that
this
people
guy."
have sent me, but I keep going back to my regulars.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's just how it works.
And okay, there's just two more left. Crochet even when life is busy.
Yep.
Find a minute to take a minute and work on something specific to self-care. But you have to decide what that is because it's not really for us to say, "Oh, well, this is a self-care project and that is not a self-care project." Whatever
Mhm.
you determine to be a self-care project that, like we've said before, feeds your soul, that's your self-care project. And I usually attribute those kinds of things to, I call them me projects because I rarely make anything for me. So if I'm making a me project, that's a self-care project.
Definitely.
Alrighty, we have a couple of other. These are going to be now. Is the Betty McKnit? She offers products for
Those are
somatic
products.
self-care. Okay,
Yeah, so I
products.
can't remember specifically what it is, but, it's probably things like, help with body alignment. I don't have the website up here, but she specializes in
No
somatic
worries.
self-care. Somatic just means of the body. Um, so that's probably taking care
Yeah,
of
and that seems to be like the
proper
buzzword
body
all of a
alignment
sudden.
stuff. Mhm. Well, when I was
Because
teaching
every time I scroll
singing
through,
when I was teaching singing, somatic was, becoming has become a huge buzzword because your body is your instrument, so
yeah,
you have to take care of it a different way than and
mhm,
in crochet, your body is your tool,
right,
so you have
right.
to take care of it in a different way. So that's basically what she's doing.
Yes, and so I'm gonna go actually look at her website because I should have probably looked at that before, but I didn't realize it was products. But it may have to do with maybe wrist wraps or things like that that help crocheters or things
Mhm.
for arthritic hands. Those are the things that I think of when I think of body self-care concerning crochet is what can you do for your arms and your
Yeah.
shoulders and things like that. I've seen recently a couple of things. There's that neck massager doojobby that somebody that was going around last week, and everybody
Yeah,
was
that's
buying that.
basically what she's got.
Hmm.
Yeah, so it's a shop that has, massage oil, a pillow, a timer, um, an ergonomic wrist rest pad,
Okay. Okay.
things like that, things that make your crochet experience, more conducive to pain-free.
Okay. And
Yep.
that is actually a subject because for us here on There's No Crying in Crochet, this month is going to be about self care. We're going to be talking about this subject more than once when it comes to crochet. So, we are actually going to have a segment where we talk about taking care of your hands and your wrists and your arms and
Mhm.
shoulders. So,
Yeah.
that'll come up at that time. And we'll probably share Betty McNitt's shop again at that point so that you will have that available there. But and then there's this book which Dev's got. It's called Mindful Crochet. So tell us a little bit about that book.
Oh my gosh, these are 35 projects. Let me see if I can find here's a mandala. Um, Lots of colors. She has quotes through the book about mindfulness and how you can use that, expressing gratitude. Here are little projects that you can do. There's something for you for the house, for this is great. These are beaded toppers, very pretty. But I wanted to
Oh, those are
read, she's got
cute.
a really beautiful um, jacket text here that says the 35 patterns include specially designed elements of repetition, color, and texture, which will help you relax, refocus, and unwind. There are projects you can make for yourself or your home, and others designed to be given as gifts. The satisfaction you'll get from creating these lovely makes and seeing others appreciate them is another important way in which crochet can encourage a positive outlook and bring happiness. Just the colors, here's my granny square, just lots of really cool
Cute.
projects. I've had this one for years, and it's just got some beautiful projects in it. Um,
I really,
and
really
it's
liked
available.
that big mandala-looking tablecloth that was in
Yes,
there.
for the picnic table. Yeah, and
Yeah,
this
that's
is
cute.
a mat.
Nice.
Just there's a
I think I'm gonna
shawl
have to
in
pick
here
that
that's
book up,
beautiful.
actually.
There are mittens,
Oh, cute.
um,
I'm
right?
sorry, I keep having to do this
Just
number.
just some beautiful stuff. Here's a cowl. That's a mindless make. It just the
Mhm.
and the photography is really gorgeous.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
one last one. How cool is that?
I want
I
it.
know. It's a chandelier, but I don't think it has any lighting in it, but I'm not sure. Fingering weight yarn, pom-poms, embroidery hoop. Yeah, I think it just looks like a chandelier. It doesn't actually have lights in it. But
Yeah.
that
No,
is a
that
beautiful
would be really
resource
cute.
available on Amazon. Yeah.
Cute. Amanda, one of our commenters said, and she went back to gaming pillows can help as well. I
Mhm.
know that there are things that you can put, even those baby bumpy, like little
Right?
bumper ones where you hold the baby and stuff
Uh-huh.
like that. God, I wish those things would have been available 30 years ago. But those apparently work really well too. It just takes the stress off your shoulders. So those, like I said, those
Right.
will be talked about later in the month. But I did put the link in there in the YouTube one for I guess maybe I only have so many character spaces available, and it bumped part of my link into a second
Oh,
comment on YouTube, but on Facebook the full link is there to the Amazon link for the book. But anyway, yeah, so that is pretty much what we have for resources for you today, um, about mindful crocheting. But and if you guys have any questions or anything, shoot it in here. But we're gonna just are there any other final thoughts that you have concerning mindful crochet before we move on to what have we been watching?
oh my gosh. Yeah, Dawn says crocheting is great for my arthritis. Um, yeah,
Mhm.
it can be depending upon how everything is aligned. Yeah.
And it depends on where your arthritis is too.
Mhm. Yeah.
I've got something funky going on with my middle finger on my right hand,
Oh,
and it's weird because I can hold my hook and nothing hurts, but it hurts up here in my wrist now. So,
mm,
eh, things are just moving slow.
yep.
Alrighty, so what have you been watching since we have had a break? Did you get the chance to watch any new TV shows, any new murder mystery stuff?
Actually, I mean, we spent the holiday season watching Christmas movies, so we caught up on all
Look at
those because
you.
I have a rule that the only time I can do that is between Christmas and New Year, between Thanksgiving and New
Oh,
Year. So any other time of the year, nada on the Christmas stuff. So we caught up on all of that.
well, that's
But
fun.
this week, in anticipation of all of the network shows coming back that I love,
Hmm.
I've been going back and watching the end of the seasons from last season just to catch up
Okay.
where we were. Um, and let's see, we did finish the third season of Bosch Legacy, so we finally did that. And we haven't started anything new, so we're just kind of
There's third
waiting for
season.
that
Did you
February
mention?
time. Oh, maybe it's the second season. Yeah, it's the second season,
Because I'm
but
a Bosch
it's
freak,
renewed.
and I was gonna say, if there's a 3rd season, where how did I miss it?
No, I think that's coming out in the future, but it is
Yeah,
renewed.
that's
Yay!
awesome.
What have you been watching?
Hang on, I'm sorry, I'm looking. Yes. So Bosch Legacy. I I'll look into this later. I've got my Prime Video up on my phone so I can see. Anyway, what have I
Oh,
been watching? Oh gosh, you know me, I bounce around a lot. But I'm gonna say the show that has been most impactful for me And me and my trash reality TV, I have gotten hooked on my 600-pound life. And don't ask me why, but my heart just breaks for these people. And I, it is almost a better motivator for my diet than almost anything else out there. And I know that sounds
Mhm.
almost cruel, but I think that the people that are in these shows would be happy that they are inspiring others to do something for themselves and about themselves before they allow themselves to get to the point where they need that help. Um, because so many of them are like, this isn't something I would wish on my worst enemy. And
Mhm.
so it is a great reminder and it is a great motivator for me because I look at myself and I go, I no, no. And so I've been watching that and we're all caught up with this season of Reacher. And that's a Prime show
Ooh.
and it's a good
Mhm.
one. And you either love it or you hate it. We're in the love it camp. So those are my new shows. The rest of it is Tony's trash reality TV, and it's not worth talking about. So
You know how I feel about reality TV.
I know.
Sorry,
I know
just not
it's
my
so
jam.
funny how absolutely different you and I are. I mean, like polar opposites.
I don't know how we did this, but it's great. I love it.
It works. It works.
Oh,
Oh,
Neem loves it.
yeah.
Oh,
Love it camp here.
really?
Cruise was far too short. And I've actually seen I saw God, I can't remember what the name of the man who does it is like it's I'm totally drawing a blank, but the man who's in the role right now, he apparently when he took over the Reacher role, he wrote a page long letter thanking Tom Cruise for letting him take over the mantle of this role and all this stuff. And he said I was standing next to my agent. I'm like, we got to get this to Tom Cruise, and the guy's like, no, no, we're not doing that. It's not happening. But it
No.
was a really funny interview, and Alan Rich said, "Thank you." And he seems like a really, really nice person, and, he's got a beautiful family, and I just like him. I like the fact that he's just plain and simple, and he's pretty to look at.
Excellent.
Yes.
Oh my.
Alrighty. Well, I suppose we have pretty much covered everything there is for this episode of working on mindful crochet and what that means to us individually, as well as some resources for you guys. If you have any questions, absolutely reach out to us. And once again, make sure that you follow
Mhm.
us here on YouTube or on Facebook. We both have groups on Facebook. We both have business pages on Facebook. Find us, and if you have questions, email us. We're here. We're always here. Um, so, with that, I'm going to bid you all adieu.
Oh, saying goodbye for now.
Yes. So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen. And you, and you, and you. All right. Okay. Bye, everybody. Have a really great rest of your week. Enjoy your weekend.
Lots of crocheting, lots of
Yes.
crocheting.
Yes. Just don't hurt yourself.